Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about Ring of Honor. I will be posting some pictures and videos that I took from the show, just like I did for my collision review on Saturday. I will also be talking about my predictions for the Death Before Dishonor pay per view, which will be tomorrow night. Now, I will be at the show, so I won't be doing a watch along, but I will be doing a review after the pay per view. So let's talk about the go home show for Death Before Dishonor. We did start off with them showing Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe is just finished his Blood and Guts match, and here we go. He's talking backstage. He's all blooded up and everything, and then Mike Bennett comes up to him and said, "Bruv, you are a old man. You got all these kids at home, basically a little daycare, and you're out here risking your life, putting your life on the line. You should be taking it easy." And while he's over here talking to him, Mark Briscoe kind of feeling a little bit of the way because Mike Bennett is talking to him, and then boom, here is Matt Taven attacking Mark Briscoe from behind, and then our next strong bro, Roderick comes along and relay a message to him about how he's going to end up taking that championship from him. He said, "You might be the Ring of Honor champion now, but you'll never be Mister Ring of Honor." And I was just like, "Oh, okay. He means business." Now, after this, Lexi Nair is interviewing Matt Taven and Mike Bennett. They're saying that, they've been contacting Tony Khan and he's been dodging them and not answering their phone calls, text messages, DMs, anything. So they feel like since they haven't been getting a response and don't have a match yet for the Death Before This on the pay per view, they might as well just take the day off. But then here comes Paul White of all people, and he says that Tony Khan has appointed him to be the new board of director of Ring of Honor. So congratulations, Paul White, I guess. And he's going to put those two in a match. So it's going to be the Undisputed Kingdom versus Ishii and Kyle O'Reilly. Yes, everyone is don't get your panties in a bunch. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. There's a little bit of a backstory with them. I didn't think that's where we was going. I thought we was gonna focus a little bit more on the people who were actually on Ring of Honor in terms of the title. But since it's a summer of Ishii and he ain't doing nothing over there in Japan, they might as well use them to the best of their advantage. I don't know what's going to end up happening with that, but I actually hope that the Undisputed Kingdom don't lose the titles to them. First match of the night, we do have Claudio Castagnoli, Wheeler Yuta versus SCP, which is Lee Moriarty and Anthony Ogogo. And obviously, Shane Taylor is ringside for support. Now, for this was a really great opener. And man, Claudio, no matter what he does, I can't even believe he's not on this pay per view. He's not even on All In or anything like that. This guy, so amazing. But we haven't seen too much of him lately. Really fun tag team match here. It was great to see Anthony Ogogo and Lee Moriarty actually doing stuff as a team. And I do think things can work out. We need to see more of them in the ring. Now, you guys already know Lee Moriarty is going to be facing Wheeler Yuta for the pure title at the pay-per-view. So this makes sense for them to have like a little tag team thing, giving something for our boy Claudio Castagnoli to do. Now, Claudio and Wheeler ends up taking the win here. But after the match, they end up getting into a little scuffle, and Shane Taylor gets involved and ends up knocking out Wheeler Yuta. He knocked him dead in a job, and Wheeler Yuta falls flat on his ass. And before things could get, escalated nasty, SCP end up rolling on out. They don't want that smoke. It's going to be a huge, huge, big deal to see what Lee Moriarty and Wheeler Yuta is going to do tomorrow. Can't wait to see what happens there. Now, after this, we do have Athena. Athena's best friend Lexi is in the ring. Now, she's supposed to be interviewing Queen Aminata and Red Velvet. And instead of asking them questions, she's asking them questions but won't let them answer. And I'm just like, oh, okay. You want to get your ass whooped. Now, the girls are getting really frustrated. And first of all, those girls look so yummy. I'm telling you, Queen Aminata, Red Velvet, Lord have mercy, beautiful, beautiful women. But they were ready to whoop her ass because she would not let them answer any questions during the interview. And then here comes Athena. Athena comes out with her new security guard every single time. It's a new security guard. They come out. Security guard got Athena on her back. Athena comes in the ring and basically saying that, regardless if her foot is messed up or not, she's still gonna, get into the ring and whoop their asses. And she kept referring it to they as if this was like a tag team match or something. But she is going against only Queen Aminata for the women's title. Now, while she's talking, Billy Starks come and attack both Queen Aminata and Red Velvet from behind. Then Athena takes off that boot she's been wearing for a while now and ends up beating up on the girls. And the crazy part about this was that the security guard was holding down, I think, Queen Aminata so that Athena and Billy Starks can beat on her. And I was just like, since when the security guards do this? It was really interesting. You know what? I'm just gonna say this. I really do appreciate Athena. It's time for her to drop the title. And Queen Aminata, if she wins it, I think that would be lovely. Up next, we do have the Gates of Agony versus Spanish Announce Project. And Lord have mercy, Bishop Khan, give your girl a call. He looks so yummy. Oh my gosh, I love this guy. He's just so everything. He and Toad Leona, they are such a really great team. I just remember them starting out at first and them really getting to the groove of things of working together. And now they're just absolutely an amazing team. And I really do wish no shade to Ishii and Kyle O'Reilly and them, but giving that shot to a team like Gates of Agony would have been really, really cool to see them go against the Undisputed Kingdom at the pay-per-view because they're like a legit tag team and they've been putting in the work in Ring of Honor. They end up beating the Spanish Announce Project. I mean, what's new? This is Angelico and Serpentico we're talking about. And they really look great. I really wish there was more opportunities for these guys. Now, after this, we do have EJ and Duca versus John Cruz. EJ has been on, I don't want to say Ring of Honor. That might not be true, but I've seen him at a few AEW shows that I've been to where he's done like dark matches. And I'm looking at him. This guy looks so freaking. Oh my god, he's in a amazing shape, the best shape that I've ever seen him in, and he looked absolutely great. But I will say this: I really hope that they sign him. I don't think he signed anywhere. He looks like he could be a champion. The last time I seen him, he was remember when Swerve had the little weigh-in fiasco with Will Ospreay before their match at the last pay-per-view. He was one of the guys that was with Swerve and all the other rappers while he was there. So that was the last time I seen him, but he looked absolutely dominating in this match. And real talk, John Cruz is enhancement talent and he helps anybody look great. But I hope they sign him and make this guy a big freaking deal. He looks great, really strong, very athletic. Tony Khan, where's the pen? Sign the damn contract. So after this, we get another video package from the MXM collection, and they do say that they're going to be debuting at Dead Before Dishonor. So okay, cool. I don't know who they're going to go against. I don't know what they're going to do, or if they're just going to show up and look pretty. The video packages are getting gayer and gayer, and I absolutely freaking love it. I think it's funny. And I can't wait to see what it is that they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to actually have a match. I'm not sure. But I do want to say this. CMLL, they do have a tournament coming up soon, and Mansoor is already in it to represent AEW. Claudio's in it too, and a few other AEW wrestlers. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens. I absolutely love when promotions gets together and do this cross promotional stuff. It's absolutely amazing. After this, we do have Johnny TV and Shane Taylor. They are going against Leo Rush and Atlantis Jr. This was a really fun match. Johnny TV, Shane Taylor are definitely not in the same page, but they got to be on the same team. Leo Rush and Atlantis Jr., they do have great chemistry, similar styles, and they were really great to have as a team. They're very different in comparison to Johnny and Shane Taylor. Well, you know what? Let me not say that. I think Johnny, I would actually like to see him one on one with Leo Rush. I think that would be a great matchup. But we do have. While this is a really fun match, and it kind of looks like it might go to babyface way since Atlantis Jr. is the TV champ, it actually doesn't go that way. Unfortunately, Atlantis Jr. end up super kicking Leo by accident, and then Shane Taylor go ahead and go for the win with a pile driver, taking the win. So tomorrow night we are going to get a survival of the fittest match for the TV title, and we'll talk about that in a little bit in terms of predictions. Now, after this, we do have Abaddon versus Dulce Tormenta, and this was okay. It was a little bit more on the squash side. I mean, both these girls are great, but it just didn't really do it for me. We could have gotten a lot more time with the two of them in the ring. It's unfortunate. You get the women's in the ring, and they're just like not necessarily giving the very best that they can because they only have a small amount of time to do something. And I wish that they would, not just with Athena, what's going on with Athena is important, obviously, when it comes to those titles, to have these women being showcased. However, for the other ladies on the roster, I think we could do a lot better than keep constantly putting them in squash matches. People do want to see Abaddon. And when you bring in people over like Dulce, you want to give them a better showing on these shows. So this was a little on the boring side for me. Now we do have a really great matchup. We do have Commander teaming up with Top Flight, Action Andretti, and Fuego del Sol. Holy moly. They are going against the Iron Savages, Nick Camarado and Anthony Henry, which was interesting. Fuego del Sol, when this motherfucker came out, everybody named Mama was just like, for whatever reason, like watching the show, it didn't really translate in terms of how crazy people were going when Fuego came out. You guys know Fuego hasn't been in the company for like a year or so. They let him go, and he came back, and people went crazy for him the other day. And then what was also interesting is Nick Camarado, he's been in this tag team with Jacoby Watts with this weird little preacher thing that they had going on. And for whatever reason, Jacoby Watts, we don't see him. And then Anthony Henry is not doing tag right now. He just got back from having a broken jaw. And then our boy JD Drake got injured, which sucks. And now he's out doing singles and teaming up with anybody who will have him as a partner. This was a really fun match. I enjoyed this. Probably the best. I think I had the most fun watching this match. You guys know everybody in this match is super talented. Iron Savages, these guys are absolute crazy. And what I really love about them is that they're a team that really focuses on crowd participation. They really try to reel the crowd in. And a lot of wrestlers don't do that. And that's what I appreciate about that group. Top Flight, Action Andretti, even Commander, I dare say, because this guy, oh my God, they are so talented, and every little thing that they do, the crowd go wild. They are absolutely amazing. And this is a little bit concerning where it's just like you have these really great wrestlers and they just kind of floating by, like Top Flight, Action Andretti, not doing no they're not in the trio scene. They're not doing any tag team matches. Like they could have literally been in a match with the Undisputed Kingdom. Like I said, no shade to Ishii and Kyle O'Reilly, but these guys been putting in work in Ring of Honor, and then y'all just throwing in people from AEW, which I kind of don't really agree with. But it is what it is. A really fun matchup. Obviously, the baby faces take the win here, and I really did enjoy this match. Probably the most fun match we had so far. Now, we did have Queen Aminata and Red Velvet. They backstage, and they letting everybody know that they can't stand them bitches, and that they're going to end up winning those titles at the pay-per-view tomorrow. So for our main event, we had to bring our Texas boys, Ross and Marshall Von Erich, obviously with their daddy Kevin, versus John Silver and Alex Reynolds. This match was okay as well. Really great way to close out the night. Obviously, everybody's going crazy, goo goo gaga for the Von Erich, so being Von Erich country. And it was really, really great to see them out in the ring. I don't know if the Von Erichs would sign with AEW, but whenever they come to Texas, they always show up and show out, and I really do appreciate that. John Silver, Alex Reynolds, every other week these guys or babyface or a heel, and it's just so weird with whatever they're doing with these guys. I just absolutely don't understand it. Marshall, Lord have mercy, these guys are in tip top shape. They look great, they move great. We can use another tag team. You hear that, Tony Khan? I don't know what we're doing in terms of these contracts, but let's get the Von Erichs in if they would like to be all elite. You guys already know Von Erichs ends up taking the win. They over there, looking great. We have Alex Reynolds who ends up getting an iron claw from Kevin Von Erich. And we even had Dustin Rhodes coming out there to help. And then now he's being part of the pay per view tomorrow night. You guys, let's go into these predictions for Death Before Dishonor. All right, creatures, let's run through this card. Now, we do have a really confusing match. We have the Dark Order versus Dustin Rhodes and the Von Erichs. This is a trios match. This is a Ring of Honor six-man tag championship eliminator match, which I thought they got rid of those titles. They removed these titles from the Ring of Honor website the other day, which is interesting. And what's even more interesting is that the winners of this match faces the Undisputed Kingdom at Battle of the Belts. How is that even relevant? You have trios. These guys are going to win to go against the Undisputed Kingdom that are a tag team at Battle of the Belts. I don't understand that. When I look at this situation, I do see the Von Erichs and Dustin taking the win, but like what they end up winning here, I don't understand what this is about. Is the six-man tag titles coming back? Whatever the situation is, I don't know. But definitely seeing the Von Erichs and Dustin taking the win. All right. So after this, we have Diamante. Oh Lord, versus Layla Hirsch in a Texas death match. This is they just had a match last week, okay, and that was a lights out match, which I would assume would be like the last match between the two of them, and that match was pretty good. It was the main event. However, we're a little bit bored. We're bored with seeing this for the sixth time. Okay, they've already had five matches with each other so far, and now we're getting a sixth one, and this time a death match. I'm not gonna doubt that it wouldn't be a good match or anything, but I'm just not feeling it. But I do see Layla Hirsch taking the win. She actually needs this win. Now, they also just announced this as well. Commander versus the Beast Mortos. For me, y'all know me when it comes to Commander. I'm over it. I do see Beast Mortos taking the win here. I think that this is going to be like one of the craziest matches of the night. So for this, definitely Beast Mortos, I think will take the win. They actually don't have no beef with each other or anything. This is just something that they randomly came up with. But I think this will definitely somehow, some way be one of the best matches at this pay-per-view. Now, after this, we also have the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships on the line. We have Mike Bennett and Matt Taven, the Undisputed Kingdom, versus the Conglomeration, Kyle O'Reilly and Ishii. I get it. There's a little something with them on AEW, but in terms of what's going on Ring of Honor, I kind of didn't want to see this. I would have preferred to see a Ring of Honor tag team get this opportunity. Now they did say that the MXM of Collection is going to be debuting at the pay-per-view. Against who, I have no clue. That could have been an opportunity too. Shit, who cares, right? Gates of Agony ain't doing nothing. Infantry ain't doing well. You know what? Infantry had their match last pay per view with them, but still, with this right here, the titles ain't going nowhere. Mike Bennett, Matt Taven definitely retaining. Wheeler Yuta versus Lee Moriarty. You guys know I love me BCC. I love Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta been injured for 6 months. He just got back like a month ago, and that was pretty much his entire title reign because he won the title. I want to say like late December, maybe early January. He was gone up until a couple of weeks ago, and he really hasn't done anything as champion. However, he's already had this title twice before, and really, Lee Moriarty has been putting work in. He's great. He's improving. And I really do think I would prefer to see someone else with the title. Sorry, Yuta, love you, but Lee Moriarty is my pick for winning this match. But will he win? To be honest, I can see Wheeler Yuta retaining. Now we have a survival of the fittest match, similar to what they did the last pay per view. No, not the last pay per view. The final battle. They did this when Kyle Fletcher ended up winning it when after Samoa Joe have vacated that title like it wasn't shit. This time we have Atlantis Jr., who is the TV champ. He got it from Kyle Fletcher at a CMLL show few weeks ago with two frog splashes, you guys. Oh my god. Now we have Lee Johnson versus Leo Rush versus Atlantis Jr. versus Shane Taylor versus Johnny TV versus Brian Cage. We got like have like high flyers and a few powerhouses. It's a really nice mix here of different styles. Atlantis Jr. baby, I mean you showed up like twice already on the show, so I appreciate that. However, I'd rather a someone within the company that could definitely be on the shows often to get this title. I get it. You know, we have that partnership with CMLL. You know, Willow got the CMLL women's title, and I get it. We sharing titles or whatever, but we still need people who's going to show up to the shows. So I would prefer for someone who is part of Ring of Honor to win this. I personally think Shane Taylor should take the title. I think it's time. It's way overdue. I would love to see that. If Shane wins, I think that would definitely change things up with the TV title division. This will be a great person to take this and definitely because he always shows up. He's always out there. He's always putting the work. So Shane Taylor for me for the win. Would that actually happen? Come back and see my review and see how wrong I was about this. After this, we have the women's TV title on the line. We have Billy Starks versus Red Velvet. Now, when it comes to the women's matches for the titles, I'm a little conflicted because I really do feel like Ugh, I really feel like the company's going to want to keep these titles on them because they are part of like a strong group. You know, they're the minion group and all that stuff with Athena, and I feel like they do want to keep these titles on these girls. Personally, I would love to see something different. And this it goes in terms of Athena as well. Billy Stark, she's had the title, hasn't really had maybe once or twice in terms of title defenses. No, actually, maybe once or twice, but she's had proving grounds matches. So you know how those things go. If you win against her, you actually get a title shot, and nobody actually ever wins. So there is really no title shots when it comes to the women's TV championship. I would prefer to see Red Velvet take the win, but I do see Billy Starks retaining. Now, after this, we have Queen Aminata versus Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. I love you, Athena. You've been holding it down since December 2022. However, I think it's time. I really do think it's time to see something different. Queen Amanada, I think, would be a really great champion. You know, what can we do with Athena at this point? She's faced everybody that's over there. They keep bringing people from other promotions to come and face her, and even a few girls from the AEW, main roster to face her as well. And she's always won every single time, and she's given us amazing matches. She's had an amazing run, and I have appreciated everything that she's done. And unfortunately, I feel like not enough people are watching Ring of Honor to see how amazing she's done. However, I think it's time that we get someone else to be champion and Athena move on up to the main roster in AEW. I would absolutely love to see that. I'm hoping for Queen Aminata to take the win and then bigger and better things for Athena on the AEW roster. However, I do see her retaining. Now for our main event, Mark Briscoe versus our next strong bruv, Roderick Strong, for the Ring of Honor World Championship. This is really interesting. I would normally just right off the bat just say Mark Briscoe should retain. We have not seen really anything from Mark Briscoe. Only one time he's actually defended this title, which was against Kyle Fletcher, and that match was absolutely amazing. We have not really seen Mark Briscoe on the show. at all since he won the title against Eddie Kingston. And it's just like, damn, which really sucks because they're really pushing to put him on AEW TV, but not enough on Ring of Honor, which I feel like is a huge missed opportunity. I just don't understand why we haven't seen Mark Briscoe, who's waited so many years to get his hands on this title, and yet the main focus has been to really include him in part of AEW, which is not a problem. But when you're putting the biggest title on somebody and not putting them on the show, that's an issue. How would people feel if Swerve was never on AEW? You know what I mean? It's the same thing that they're doing with Mark Briscoe. So Mark Briscoe should be just as big of a champion as Swerve is, but in Ring of Honor. And unfortunately, we haven't seen enough of him. I don't personally think that if Roderick Strong would have taken the title off of Mark Briscoe, that he would be always on the shows and rating defending champion either, because he's heavily put on the AEW show. So in my opinion, I personally do not care which one of these guys take the win. I would love to see Mark Briscoe a little bit more. However, it's really about what happens from here. Whoever wins this, are they going to be on the show? Are they going to be rating defending champion? Are they going to be the top person in Ring of Honor? That's what I want to see. So to me, whoever wins, I just want them to feel like the biggest thing in Ring of Honor. And honestly, unfortunately, that has not been the case when it comes to this title and almost all the titles except for the women's title, which Athena's been holding down for quite some time, and she's been making women's wrestling feel important over there. And it's just a lot of foolishness going on when it comes to these titles. However, I will be at the show, and as always, even if the pay-per-views kind of feel like last second or whatever the situation is when putting these things together, these wrestlers always show up and show out and give a great show every single time. And that's what I appreciate about all these wrestlers in AEW Ring of Honor. They always give us a great show, and I don't expect anything less tomorrow. But I will do a review since I can't do a watch along, and I can't wait to enjoy myself at the show. I know it's going to be great. Guys, thanks so much for watching my review, watching my predictions. I'll be back tomorrow with a review on the pay-per-view. See you guys then. Bye.